Hello, everyone. It's Carter, and this is the newest episode of LoudCast. I just wanted to start the video by saying this is probably going to be a shorter video. The subject isn't super in-depth. And also, I wanted to say that we should have 2 to 3 more episodes coming out this week. I want just to tell you what they might be. I want to do all the MCU movies ranked 1st to 22nd. And then I want to do my top 50 basketball players of all time, along with maybe a video on nuclear power and renewable energy. So those should be coming out sometime in the next 7 days. Hopefully one comes out Thursday, and then I have work this weekend, so I don't know how many more will be coming out this weekend. So yeah. Start off, I want to talk about a certain conspiracy theory that's almost fact at this point in certain cases. So the world has made this big deal about companies making your devices listen to you. So if you have an Amazon Alexa, it's a big thing that if you talk about a product around that Alexa and then like you go on Amazon, it's going to be on your recommended. Well, I don't think that's that big of a deal as it stands right now, because if you look at it, Alexa just giving advertisement info back to Amazon, it's probably somewhere in the packaging, or when you buy it, it will tell you it does that. It's just people don't read that. I get why it freaks people out because they think they're being listened to, but I think people take it to the next level. So now, I don't think like Instagram using your microphone or Snapchat, I don't think that's that bad. Or Snapchat, sorry. I don't think it's that bad. I think that just using it for advertisement purposes is fine, because it's how these free apps make their money, is by pushing advertisements, and it allows it to happen a little bit more effectively. However, I think people get this wrong idea that like your phone's listening to you and everything goes back to your government, or like you're on a computer and you're on Google and you say something and the mic on your laptop picks it up. That doesn't happen. There's multiple videos that disprove this. If you go on and you were to say what you want to buy, right? So if you want to buy dog food and you're like, you go and talk to your mom next to your computer about dog food for 20 minutes, and then you go on Google, there's almost no correlation to the ads that pop up to dog food. Google, when you're on your computer, is not listening to you, and your computer microphone is not being accessed by Google. As well as Apple has agreements with the FBI and the government that they cannot access your phones. So this huge thing where like there's an FBI agent listening to your phone and people can hear you, that's false. Now, however, when you send like an email, and you, like, let's say you put some really bad stuff in that email about like killing someone, that will get flagged. Google, the service has a filter on it. It will pick something like that up. So there's no complete freedom to send stuff like that over the internet. However, they're not just listening to you. So like to put you on like a watch list or something like that. That's not what happens when you're talking near your phone. It's more just with certain apps. So like when you download an app, it'll say like required permissions in the App Store, on Google Play, whatever you have. They'll say required permissions, and you'll see microphone. And I guarantee you 90% of the time, if it's like a game, it's going to push advertisements. If it's like a free game, it'll push the advertisements for whatever you've been talking about while you're playing the game, or maybe with your friends. And if you're on like Instagram and you're going through and you're like, oh wow, I'm really hungry, I could eat a donut right now. And you might see a donut ad the next time you load up Instagram. That's because they probably have it somewhere in their terms of service that they can pick advertisement data from you. Now, I don't really think this is okay, because I think this is taking advantage of a place that people think is safe. I think this needs to be brought more front and center by these companies. I think that the companies need to talk more about how they're doing this. I think they need to let people know that, hey, there's no way for us to get money from your business coming onto our websites or apps or whatever without us using your microphone to find what you're looking to be advertised, so that they can get the clicks to make the money off of your business and your traffic on the internet. So I think that it's a necessary evil so that we can have free apps and such. I just think it needs to be brought to people's attention a little bit more. Now, because that was a little short, I kind of wanted to talk about some tech news. Overall, there's a lot of new stuff coming out soon. There's some pretty cool things happening in the tech world right now. The new Google Pixel 3a recently came out. It's a $499 phone, that comes with some really good features, and it can compete with a lot of the flagships. While it doesn't really have the design that the newer phones have, such as the X, the S10, and the newest Google Pixel, it does have a lot of the specs and features that you'd want to come with it. So now it has the unlimited storage space that comes with Google Photos, which is great. It makes it so when you're taking pictures, it will never run out. At least I don't think it will. You maybe have to pay for more after a bit, but you have like 15 gigs of storage or something like that just for your photos. That's in the cloud. You get One UI, or not One UI. You get the Android One, Android Pie, which is the original, straight out of the box Android, no skin on it, which is awesome. You get a pretty good phone for $499. I think that's cool. Along with that, you have the OnePlus 7, which has been, I think it just released its newest model, and it is amazing. It has a 90 hertz screen refresh rate, so you can, basically, whenever you tap the screen, it refreshes faster, so it looks smoother. Most phones run at 60 hertz. The iPhone X, S10, Google Pixel 3, 3A, Google Pixel 3, all the LG phones, all run on 60 hertz because they use OLEDs. And I do believe that because OnePlus has not been using OLEDs, they've put a LCD screen with 90 hertz into the screen. The only other phone that's really done this successfully is the Razer phone. They do a 120 hertz LCD screen, but there's a lot of issues with the Razer phone, so I respect OnePlus for bringing this to the market. News, the new MacBook dropped recently, within the last month, and I wanted to talk about that. So they put a new i9 8-core processor with the newest, I think it's 8th generation processor in it. It goes up to 5 gigahertz of speed, and there's a huge issue with it. So now, if you go and look back last year during the MacBook release, there's a bunch of issues with the scores in the performance tests not being up to speed with what they should be, because they try to thin down these laptops so very thin that when they put these really powerful processors into them, there's not enough fan coolant on them to make it so they can run to their full potential. So they're heat locked into the fact that they only get like 3.5 gigahertz, which it's fine. Like, that's a usable amount of CPU, but you're paying $2,000 for a MacBook just so you can, get these crazy good specs that come with the Apple computers, but you can't use them to their full potential, which really stinks. Honestly, I think you should forego a little bit of that thinness, make it slightly thicker, and for your general MacBook products, you shouldn't be trying to make the MacBook Airs. They should be what is the performance variants of your laptop lineup, and they should really just be a portable iMac. And while the MacBook Air might be more convenient for someone that doesn't need the processing power, but if you want a MacBook that has processing power, it's going to need to be thicker. And Apple doesn't really disclose this, and I think they kind of take advantage of their customers not knowing that something like this could happen, because they market it as a 5 gigahertz laptop, and it's not. There's no way that it runs at that, because the heat of the CPU is way too much for the fan power that's in the laptop. Overall, I'd like to thank you guys for coming and watching this episode of LoudCast. Subscribe and leave a like and comment below on some more suggestions. There should be more episodes coming out this week, and I hope you guys have